because the Parliament is back in session and the Coalition is raising questions on the controversial Division 296 legislation. Let's get a view from Katie Timms. She's from RSM Australia to help simplify the complex legislative change if you've still got any questions left about it. Katie, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. So it's the $3 million threshold. There's been a lot of, I guess, consternation around this. It's still ongoing, but in your view, this will pass in the form that it is currently?
Look, we actually really don't know at this point in time. We're still hearing views that the Greens are sticking to their intention that they think this should be a tax on a $2 million cap, not a $3 million cap. And I think I can speak for most of the industry when I say we would rather that this didn't pass in its current format. We think there's a lot of unfairness in it. We don't think that this is maybe the best measure that could have been put forward. So we will always remain hopeful that there will be some changes.
And what is it that you find inherently unfair?
There's probably two main principles that I think industry is pretty uncomfortable with. The first is that it's taxing this new definition of earnings. So previously, any taxes that you pay is on actual income that you've earned. This tax, as it's currently drafted, is just taxing the movement in market values, and that's something that is pretty unheard of, particularly in the superannuation industry. It's taxing people on market movements, on unrealised gains, which is probably a little bit far reaching for, how we would like our tax system to sit. The second thing that we really would love to see changes on is this idea of indexation. So as it currently stands, there's no intention to move that $3 million market with indexation. At the moment, it is a flat number, which again does mean that we're going to see a lot more people captured in the coming years than maybe was initially intended.
Okay, so I don't think that we're going to get to the bottom of whether or not it's going to go through in its current form. So what have you been talking to your client base about at RSM? Explain to me who they are, first of all, and how you've been advising them.
Look, our clients really do range from business owners, farmers, high net wealth individuals. So it is a really wide ranging group of people. Probably the group that is most highly impacted at the moment is those that are holding business assets inside their superannuation fund. So particularly farmers, where we do see fluctuations in values of farms. We do see those values go up in good years, and we do see them come back down. And unfortunately, some of the issues that arise is that the income yield that you're generating from your farmland, for example, may not match the increase in the asset value. So people are potentially going to be paying tax on an asset that is going up that's actually not really generating you the same amount of income. Look, what are we telling our clients? At the moment, it's really, we have to wait to see where this legislation is going to land. Now, we have had this in draft form for quite some time. It was due to come in, though, on the 1st of July 2025, and yet we're still kind of getting feedback that it is stalled in government. So clients really at the moment are thinking, we don't really know what to do. Do we make changes? Do we look to restructure? Are we going to be facing a $2 million cap? So at the moment, our advice to clients is we still have to wait. We need to make sure we understand exactly how this is going to impact you. What is the tax number going to look like? And then wait until we see where it's going to land before we make any changes.
That's sort of the worst case scenario, isn't it? Because it's so hard to plan when you have this uncertainty. I mean, there's got to be an end point to the uncertainty, or what will people end up doing? I mean, do you just start making preemptive moves that could cost you a lot in the long run?
Yeah, we've already seen people do that. We've already seen people sort of make panic decisions before 30 June 2025 because there was this anticipation that, well, it's going to go through, we're going to have it in its current format, that's it, we need to make decisions. And I guess that does feed into a lot of the issue that people have with Australia's superannuation system is it's constantly fluctuating. There's a lot of uncertainty. It's really hard to be able to make decisions that set you up for the next 20 years, which is what superannuation is supposed to be. People are constantly feeling unsettled. Do I put my money into super, which is where it should be, because the government's going to keep making these changes. And even now, we're making changes based on a deadline that's already passed. It just makes things really complicated for people.
Do you agree, though, that there is some need to be able to claw back some of the very generous tax concessions that people are able to access when you have a super balance over the $3 million mark.
Oh, look, absolutely. I think when you talk to people that have balances, over that number, most people are actually pretty comfortable in saying we've had a pretty good run. Our super system is incredibly concessionally taxed. I don't think anyone is going to argue with that. The frustration really comes in around, is this actually the right method to try and claw back some of these tax concessions? There was a lot of frustration in industry probably over the last couple of months, especially when there were comments made saying that, well, there was no other alternative put forward. And a lot of people came back and said, hang on a minute, we did put other suggestions forward. Is this really the right method that we should be using? We all acknowledge we probably are getting a little bit too concessionally taxed, but is this the right way forward? I'm not necessarily sure it is.